I'd like to hand it over to Dr. Brent Calhoun, who likes to be known as a thrivor, and that's exactly what he is. He's going to share his story about the book that he published recently. So welcome, Brent.
Thank you. You can just leave that there, and I'll just put it on top.
Okie dokie.
I'm just gonna get my my PowerPoint.
You got it. You got it.
Thank you. We'll see if it's technology is getting both easier and complicated. I'm grateful that it was being easy. So welcome to all of you. I was kind of laughing a couple of times because I didn't do anything what Annette suggested that you do. If you have some signs that are concerning, you should immediately call 911. I didn't do that. The first I had probably while I was sleeping, and when I got up, I was walking around and I fell, which is really unusual. But I just popped up and I just said, it's unusual. I'll figure it out later. And then I got to work, and I had a headache, and so I told my manager that I was going to go home and rest, and I didn't even bother to call my wife. And I went home, I slept 3 or 4 hours, and I felt a little bit better. But what basically happened, the first stroke took out my speech center. Then slowly my speech was deteriorating as the day went on, but I didn't really know because first I'm introverted, so I didn't really talk so much. And anyways, my wife, my son, my older son, I have 2 sons, he had a violin recital. So I was going to be the videographer of the family. So I got the camera, I got a place, a seat in the floor, so I didn't have to climb, luckily. And I videotaped the recital. And then I told my wife, I guess I figured out how, later, I don't know how I said it, but I said I was going to go home. And she said, well, I'm going to take the boys to get an ice cream. I'll see you back home. So I decided I still had some of the headache around, and I thought maybe I would have to call in to sick to work tomorrow. So I stopped at the library to get some DVDs. Back then, that's what we did. And what I found out because my wife got home before I did, and she was surprised. She thought I would be home. She called me on my cell phone, and she asked a very simple, innocent question: "Where are you?" And I couldn't answer her. And I knew that's a problem because I'm supposed to answer. But she is a producer for an advertising world. So she instantly jumped into playing 20 questions. She said, so are you at Kroger's? Are you at CVS? She went down those lists and she said, are you at the library? And I could still say yes and no. And I said, oh yes. And then she said, well, I don't know what's going on, but come on home. Unless she had knew Annette, she would have called 911, but no. So I finally got home. She had called our physician. We shared the physician. He was thought I may have a stroke. So this is 15 years ago. I was 50, and I thought he's crazy. So as far as I was concerned, it was something else. Strokes happen to older people, and I didn't feel at 50 I was older. But now when I get into the research, strokes are happening more often to younger people. But anyways, all these things I didn't know anything about. And, she drove me to the emergency room. But in hindsight, it wouldn't really matter because my time frame that I talked about was way past. It probably had happened sometime while I slept, so it was 12 to 18 hours before, so I couldn't have the drug. But anyways, it was fun it was kind of fun to relive what I went through. But anyways, real quick, this journey that we're on, and I mentioned to Louise, it doesn't matter whether you are the stroke patient or whether you're someone who cares for him or her. Everybody is in a stroke. They had a stroke, and it is a life-changing event. And so please, we always think a stroke, it's not back up. If a stroke happens, studies show 20 to 30% of them will die within a short period of time. And I don't mean to be sober or mean, but that is just the facts. So the fact that you are still here is an opportunity to help yourself be more thriving. So please take advantage of that, and you know that you can take the opportunity of being alive. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that, whether you're alive or you're living. And I think thriving is more exciting, and then you should just be alive. So anyways, when I went through my book, which is, in case you haven't seen, I'm going to do a plug, a shameless plug, because that's my book. But I thought about it because people really need to understand when you go through a stroke, there's several phases. And at first, of course, you're alive, in which most people don't think about that, but that is. And then the next stage is, what the heck happened? And coming to grips, what just happened to you? And it takes several weeks to months, maybe years, to grasp that you, and either you or your loved one, had a stroke, or you have an aneurysm. I know that, well, did you have a stroke? All right. Did you have a stroke? I know you do. Yes and no. And did you had a stroke? All right. Did you?
No.
Did you? All right. And I know you do. And you do too, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I'm going to be stroke centric instead of aneurysm. But anyways, when I started going through the process of recovery, I had learned that I had to rediscover what I had to do. I had to adapt my family and my home. I had to do all these things that I never even thought about. And so please know that when you're going through that process, when you are conscious of the process, you have more options to not attack, but you can deal with the issues when you're more aware of them. And so when I looked at the process, I realized there are four parts of the stroke recovery. And so, that's a great sound.
It is.
So there's 4 parts, which are your mindset, we'll talk a little bit about that, your physical arena, the emotional area, and the mental skills. So I'm going to touch on each of those because they're important. And I went through them and still do. In fact, when I was going through the process of editing the book and my classmate of mine, she was a veterinarian too, edited my book. So I probably read the book more times than I care to read it. And suddenly I read something, I go, I should do that. So there's a lot in it that I know they would be helpful for me. And but it's important to understand when you embark upon this stroke recovery, you can't do everything. You just have to do one thing. You just want to make your life a little bit better today than it was yesterday. That's all. So the first is the mindset. And the mindset, I used to think it was more like an attitude, but it's really about the whole way that you look at the world around you. And if you are in the mode of you're going to survive this stroke, that isn't very good from my standpoint. And it makes a shift and makes you thriving about life. And because remember, you're still alive. So please know you have the opportunity. Please thrive instead of just surviving. So one example or exercise that I feel is really important, but I know that unless you make a commitment to do this, you'll listen and you'll go, yeah, it's kind of good. But anyways, if you can decide that you will commit to writing down one thing you're grateful about in life today. You can do it first thing in the morning when you get up, or last thing a day before you go to bed. But if you decide you're going to commit to it, then you have to decide, what habit am I going to replace with this new habit? And then you have to be consistent with your commitment. You have to do it every day. That means, oh shoot, I didn't get to do it today. If you have 2 choices, if you're making this a new habit, the next day you do it twice maybe. But if you don't do it the next day, your habit is gone. So, and if you make your habit to be more grateful, you will find suddenly you have more things to be grateful about every day. You're thinking, what happened? But what happened is you shifted your mindset, and your result was when you look around yourself, you see it, your life is a little bit more grateful for gratitude. So it's important. All right, that's one secret, I call them. The second is looking at the physical arena, which is really reconnecting with your body. It is important. And there's lots of items that I could use, but the important thing to do is learning. Once you learn your body, what's there now, and you decide that you're going to learn something different than you were doing yesterday. So if you can only lean down and touch your knees, then set up a goal to touch your shins. Because remember, you're stretching your back side, which is better than just sitting down and getting tighter and tighter and tighter. It's I have it's kind of a habit. I use this stretch band, and I pull my arms back, making my chest be more expansive. And I do it 10 times. And then when I'm making my coffee in the morning, I very slowly, I didn't do it today, I stretch like this, and then I stretch like that, and back. And of course, the right side over the second stroke, it took up my motor function of the right side, but it's still there, but I'm still gonna try to do it a little bit better than I did yesterday. And the other thing, right here, I want to make sure that you understand what I feel is it permanent or is it temporary? Now, I'm a believer, doing the research, that the medical profession is so demanding or dynamic and adventuresome. They're gonna push the boundaries. So maybe in 10 years they have new treatments that can radically change how we see our life, and maybe they can eradicate our side effects from the strokes. That's what I believe. And so I don't I don't take the from others, like for example, the handicap placard. I've got the blue kind, which means I have a permanent disability. But I just tell them I'm temporary, but we'll do the blue for now. That's just an example. When we have it in our mind that it's one way, that's how we're going to act. The other, when we think it's the other way, when it's permanent or temporary, it will affect how we live our daily life. So I just want you to know, you all have temporary disability, and that's why I believe. The other thing that was really fascinating, I met a man who is blind. He was blind from, had a childhood illness. Anyways, his parents took the approach that they were going to treat him just like they treat their other children. And so he grew up, he would go bike riding, he'd do all these things. He couldn't see, but so what? And when he grew up, he's now a motivational speaker, and he made a blog post about one day he was with his niece in some college, and all of a sudden he heard all this commotion around him. It was in the afternoon, and he said, somebody said, "We lost the lights, so we're using our phone light to get around." And he said, "Why would you do that?" He said, suddenly he realized that disability is relative to your surroundings. So in that example, those sighted people were disabled by the loss of their light, their outside light. So it's really important when you start to think of it or feel it differently, you start to take your life in a different path. So anyways, the third secret is the emotional area. And there's a lot of packed in the emotional arena, because often you feel very, very depressed. And I mean low in the you feel like you can't do anything because this stroke, either the loved one had it or you have it, and you commiserate with yourself because you project it forever. But understand, deal with right now, and you don't know what will happen later today or tomorrow or next week. So take when you take the depression and use different ways of dealing with it, you would find that you are not going to be sucked into the bad feelings. And it's really interesting. I even caught myself. We often usually say, my anxiety, my depression, my. That means we make it very personal. But suddenly, what if you would say, the depression, the anxiety, the worry? That makes it impersonal, and you get less engaged in arranging your life around what is yours versus the. It seems like it's a little different, but when you start using that every day, you will make differences in your life. So it's really important. And then the last secret is mental skills, sharpening your mind and rebuilding cognitive strength. And there's lots of things that we can talk about pertaining to strokes, but here's the secret. It matters to nobody whether anybody, stroke or no stroke, benefits when you do these exercises like crossword puzzles. My mom, who died about a month ago, she did crosswords almost every day. And I don't know if it made a difference, but she was sharp with her knowledge all 94 years. So I don't know if that is, but that's an example of doing something that exercises your brain. And for example, you can take a deck of cards and you can do matching. Basically, you can find a black king. Now I'm going to find another black king and make sure that you know those two are similar. And you can do lots of things. The kids' games are, they have the games that are like this. And the same thing helps kids, helps us. So don't ever poo-poo say that that's a kid's game. Realize they're using your brain power to get better at it. So it really means when you look at your life, look at what are you doing to exercise your brain. The other thing in this arena, the mental skills, is if you used to either you played an instrument or you spoke another language, studies show those activities will help you in recovering your stroke from your stroke. So you need to look at maybe I am going to learn a new language. Now that would be crazy if I would think that, but if I do, I can still benefit now as I would have before the strokes. Or I used to, way back when, play the piano. And I thought, maybe I could try again. And I could get in front of a piano. But the important thing with all these exercises is repetitive, repetitive, repetitive. I need to commit and decide to do it more often. So when you do that, when you commit yourself and you start using new repetition motions, you can do amazing things. So that's about that. That's the 4 secrets. So the thing that's really important, remember, you can do this. And it's important to do it. So if you want to get a hold of me, I can. And I have some cards which have my my website. And this is my website, and you can go there. And if you want to, it's just go there. The pop-up asks you if you want to subscribe. I would tell you, sure. I don't spam you, but I put up a blog about once a week, and you would be notified. And then I do an email, which will go out to your email address. So if you want to do it, please. And I love this because I love the stroke thrivers so much. I decided I'm going to eradicate stroke survivors. No way. I'm going to make it stroke thrivers. And I've started to make a series of t-shirts and later mugs and everything like that. And the number of designs is increasing. But really, this is so important too, because if you think I'm a survivor, or God forbid, a victim, because they are still used out there, I would hear somebody either writing or speaking, he or she will call him a stroke victim. And I think that's so sad, because victim, it puts a whole bent on that, which basically it tells you can't do anything at all. And you literally, maybe you don't really feel like going, oh man, I'm so tired. But figuratively, you feel that when you refer to it as a victim, you feel, what the heck? It's not worth it. So anyways, that's why I want to see Stroke Thriver be a everyday label, because I feel a stroke gave us an opportunity. And people may say that's crazy, but anything that happens in your life is an opportunity or it's a detriment. And it's up to you to decide it makes a difference. So anyways, in the last, I think it's my book. And that is a QR code if you want to snap your phone with, you can get a picture of that. It's on Amazon, the paperback or the Kindle version, and you can get that if you want. And I have a few copies if you want, I will. Or Joyce, I'll sign it.
So I wanted it signed by the author.
Yeah, so, but it's really important. We have to know that together we'll thrive. That's it. All right? So if you have any other questions or comments or your own experience, please tell me. What's that? It's
Each person from the stroke group, each family, we would like to share a copy with you.
wow. Look at that.
There you go.
Wow.
Help you pass them out, Brent?
What's that?
Can I help you?
She already paid for it.
Thank you.
You're all set? Yeah. Together? Sure.
Yeah, it's interesting.
All set? Everybody get one that needs one?
Of course, I'm in the So, and you know what?
Thank you.
And I want mine
All
on.
right, I will.
Yeah, right.
Does anybody else have any questions or comments? The T-shirt?
Yes.
T-shirt. No.
Say,
You got it.
say the T
T.
shirt.
Shirt. Okay.
See, that's great.
So, wasn't weird? It looked like
Well,
Oh, I saw that too, when it said something weird.
Yeah, weirdo or something, yeah, or the T.
it said,
That one, weirdo one.
I'm a stroke thriver. I'm allowed to do weird things. And then you can go to my website and you can.
Yeah, but I didn't have a stroke and I still do weird things.
So you go to my website and you subscribe to my blog and then you see where it says shop here. You go to that and one of the buttons is a stroke. I forget. They have the photo of this T-shirt,
Yeah.
and then you click on that, and then you will get the place where you can order it.
Can you put up on the screen one more time the QR
Sure.
code?
And then do you have a card that has it on there?
Excuse me?
Card?
Oh yes.
It has it on there?
No, I don't.
Oh, I have right-sided weakness.
Did you write his website down?
Yes.
I just did it too.
The other, unfortunately, I thought I would get it, but
My writing's really, really bad.
well, I know mine is too. But,
I think.
the cards, I couldn't get them two-sided, so I would have that QR code on the
Oh.
back. It will be there next week.
Oh,
There you go.
no problem. Thank you, that was,
Just take one and pass it.
Did you, for your speech rehab, didn't you do something online, like daily to practice, or you taped yourself, or you played it back, or?
Sure. Make sure that you say louder so I can capture it on the video.
He's videotaping.
Oh, I was asking, Brent shared with us before, his speech, it's phenomenal. You're a great presenter.
Well,
But when I first met Brett, it was very difficult for you to have a flowing sentence.
oh yes.
And so can you share what you have done to get your speech as
Okay.
good as it is today?
yeah.
Well, this all happened 15 years ago, and so I had speech therapy when I was in hospital, which was 5.5 weeks in the hospital, then 3 weeks in the rehab place, then almost 5 months of outpatient, 3 times a week of the speech therapy. But the speech therapist told me the most wise words that she could say. she said, I'm releasing you because now you have to go out in the world and practice speech. And 4 years ago, when I started the process of writing my blog, I started to post also, and that's how I got better with my speech. And I post probably 2 or 3 times a week, and I challenge myself to videotape myself, and I hope anybody will take it as an example they can do too. So if you do and you practice, I don't know if you do, but I hate to hear myself, because I know when 15 plus years before, I was doing this and this and this that I can't do now yet. I always say yet, because remember, your the disability is temporary.
Yes, that's true. Any other questions, comments? Anyone else want to share a story?
Yes.
Very nice presentation, you
Thank
know, it just arms you for the future, even if you're not dealing with it right now.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, now I know what to watch for, call 911.
Yes, don't wait.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting. When I decided to write the book, I realized the majority of it is not for stroke patients. They're for everybody. And but I knew that I had to focus on the stroke patients because I wanted to make a difference with them. All right. Thank you again.
Thank you.
You're welcome.